So hello everyone, I'm Monday and welcome to my live genetic review of chapter 95. And I mean, I think the end of the story has been really bad. Just, confusing, very uninteresting to follow the other characters instead of Aaron and so on, right? I'm hoping to God that here is correct, that Aaron is, the man, the soldier with the wrong bandage or something. Something ever will happen. I truly hate that it's all the new characters, so they're all completely brainwashed for no reason, right? Because the main issue, I say, every damn month, not my monthly chapter, is that we are told that everyone is super indoctrinated, fine, but every time the author shows how they indoctrinate them, it's kind of like, really? That would never work in anymore, right? That's big. That's one of the absolute big issues with this manga. The author's basically telling us, oh, they're all super indoctrinated, and then they just copy-paste the Nazi way to treat Jews. It's like, that did not incorporate, and indoctrinate or assimilated Jews into Nazi Germany, right? Like, that did not work out for them. And I mean, in the sense that they just killed them, right? And they didn't agree with them, right? But they make them here, right? But here it's kind of like, by using this thing, people agree with them. Why? So I'm reading at it. I hope this chapter is gonna fix it. But I really don't think so, but I hope it's fixed. So anyway, good morning, Officer Brown. So it's Reiner out walking right, has his cousin with him. That crazy psychopathic woman is gonna kill everyone. Yeah, the little warrior. I guess they are in one of those ghettos they live in. There are also opposition inside the city, which makes no sense. It's like, why would you have a ghetto in the middle of the city pretty much for the city list? Especially when the people in the ghetto can transform into monsters. That makes no sense. However though, one theory I hope is kind of correct is that everyone is a Titan. Or like every white people or something like that, right? Because Mikasa and Levi probably can't be on Titans, right? During this Aquaman thing, and they're all Asian, right? So like each people probably can't be it, but what is the difference actually between an alien and a Marlian? Nothing that I can see. There is like supposed to be Europeans or that. So I hope that the Marlian is light everyone and they actually just took some people, thought they just tell them, you are slaves. Yeah, I hope they used whatever. So that could be a cool hope. I hope for that. It could be something nice. Yeah, so he has some kind of, yeah, he's a warrior. Yeah, it's good for business. They say lately you've been making a little squirt. Heading to headquarters for training, yeah. She also has that. Yeah, why is Gabby down? They're like, she's used proud about that shit. Don't have two guards too. Like, how enslaved are these people? Jesus Christ. 2 guards could easily escape. Because thinking that, why wouldn't you just escape primarily? Right? Because if someone told me, like you used to read new chapter One Piece earlier, I'm gonna spoil it, but it pretty much has this kind of, there's one brief panel where someone's saying like, you better fight instead of just dying, right? Pretty much, right? That's like, yeah, that's a pretty good attitude with life, right? It's like, I'd rather fight instead of just surrendering. What's the point of that if I know I'm gonna die anyway, right? Yeah, his mother, which I assume got raped by a Marlin, and that's what she keeps telling it is the alien's fault. They left her behind and so on. I think it's very implied that she got sexually abused by the Marlins. So she started realizing that he, ran much in his mind or so on, potentially. He said that the blood ties has infected in the past. Yeah, passing down the memories of the 9 Titans, right? Yeah. Yeah, and she might get his memories, like her Aaron gets her memories. Yeah. There's also kind of a plot hole though. If you all remember what the other ones did earlier, or somewhat remember, why does Aaron only remember like his father and the guy before him, like Owl? Hasn't there been like hundreds of Titans. Or has it? Maybe it hasn't. I don't know. Maybe it isn't the plateau. But it also is like, that made me think about maybe Owl and so on, or one of the earlier generations then. The claim is like 2,000 years, but wouldn't they have memories of the wars they had 1,000 years ago? If they all have kind of remember some kind of right memory that, you know, incorporates it down in some kind of line, right? Wouldn't they have some memory of what happened earlier? And wouldn't someone remember like a rebellion failed maybe, or someone maybe almost succeeded, or, you know, blah blah blah? Wouldn't they have different kind of you know, ideas from that? Anyway, they're at the training camp that for some reason aren't in the ghetto, whatever. These people should be the most dangerous. Well, yes and no, I guess the most brainwashed. The thing is that the typical rebel gene person would have the highest probability of pretending to be indoctrinated, like Owl did. That's kind of like the most. So in one way, they also are the most dangerous people, probability-wise, because it would be the most people dedicated to betraying you. Would also, of course, do this thing, right, to betray you. So it's kind of like, there's like, you know, yeah, I have to surpass her. She doesn't have to beat it. Yeah, I'm gonna be it. She get head. Yeah, he heads, but pretty nice, but still, right? I have to say it right away. I am uninterested in this thing. I just wanna get back to Aaron Arm. I just wanna go to the main story. Hopefully, we show up here at any moment, right? Like, I'm just gonna. Jesus Christ, can we get out of this damn looking at these insane people training for them? And then she is the one with, yeah, the 4 legs, right? Yeah, then we see Zeke. And so on. Yeah, I guess the titles. I'm hoping it's Zeke's gonna betray the Marley animal. Like, someone finally betrayed him. It's like, come on, someone. Reiner, you know, Reiner, I mean, of course, I suppose the Overwatch reveal. Reiner, Zeke, someone, please betray them. Please, someone. Okay, so over the last couple of years, Marley has been engaged in and won a war of resources. The heroes, total possessing type of titans, size all those countries opposite, yeah. Because of this, the world contempt towards the aliens is growing bigger and bigger. Yeah, we know all this, of course, it's nothing new. Yeah, she hated towards during the age of the alien empire. We as well more in order to show off resist more orders that people have committed in the past. Yeah, so this thing, the you know, maybe the truth of the alien empire, no one really knows the truth and all, I guess. But he's like, maybe it's against the more than because they are pushing. It should be like, yeah, they're propagating all the time that we are evil as well. The voices calling for elimination of aliens have grown louder and louder. Yeah, they're afraid of being exterminated, boss. Something like that, right? Just very much like, On top of that, in the latest battle, it has become clear that soon conventional weaponry, yeah, could very well come. This all thing, yeah, this is nothing new here. So far, Zach said what we have been told for like 3-4 chapters. So this is repeating all the chapters here, and I really don't like that. Because said this, you know, because I've been spending so much time getting nowhere at. This could be skipped. He could have said this, and they could jump 3 pages here. I think so far. Anyway, therefore the aliens will lose the technical value when it happens. Marley might, you know, kill. I don't know. Yeah, Marley will be able to support. Marley becomes weaker. Yeah, we might become killed. I guess it's gonna be there. Yeah, so basically, Zeke is actually realizing that the Marley or the other people or the countries might just kill them all. And the solution is so stupid. This is an illogical stupidity here, because like, oh, the only fix to this is to help the Marley become like the world power of the world, like the domination of the world. Why? Didn't you say that? Because the problem is that the problem is Zeke a fan of the Marley or is a fan of the aliens? But if his plan, because this speak was kind of like, oh, the poor Marleys, they're all gonna die, we have to save them. But if that's your goal, you might as well just, you know, re-establish the alien empire and then conquer the planet, and then aliens are safe. That would also make it work, right? or going in that direction. So his solution is kind of like, no, let's keep being slaves to the Marley and help them conquer the whole planet. That will protect us. It's like, see, this is a very problematic agenda there, right? Because if he's just like super committed to the Marleys, fine enough. But the speak makes him present himself as he cares about aliens, but he doesn't, right? So it's kind of like the author I feel here, Hayama, he cannot make his mind like what is Zeke so far. For this page, he can't make up his mind what is Zeke's actual intention. Not his goal per se, but like his motivation. Like he cannot make up his mind if he's going back and forth here, if he cares about aliens or not, right? And it's very, very, just makes the character be so weak, I think. No, yeah, they have the Marley, but also, yeah, this whole plan also makes no sense because they're saying like, oh, but Titans are useless now because they have weapons, they can fly and they can like bomb us and they can shoot us with the Titan guns. And he's like, well, the solution is more Titans. It's like, what? How's that the solution? The only thing they would do is that they can control the other Titans, I suppose, and then they can fight them, right? But Technology is so strong, they can still just fly over them and bomb them, right? So like, yeah, you have more Titans, that is better than having less Titans. But how can your solution be, okay, let's just get more Titans? I mean, he said this like, well, why we get more Titans with the powers, you can go and, you know, build better weaponry or something. It was like, come on. It's really, really falsy. God, this blow, it irritates me. Like, I'm angry when I get angry more than anything else. But anyway, but we also been doing the world going, yeah. See, so he also hates the aliens at Paris Island. See, so his whole thing like, we have to protect the aliens, but also annihilate all the aliens. It's like, okay, so you don't care about all the aliens, you know? Yeah, wouldn't hate you more? Like, that is a horrible plan too. Like, how can he claim that, okay, if we go and get the original Titan power, so we have all the Titan powers, you know, so we have full control, how would that lesser the hate for all the countries would be like, okay, no, we really need to kill them before they start the Empire again. Probably, right? That were generally, or something similar, or would the Marley Empire because too big or whatever. That would be like, oh, they have more Titans now? Okay, let's be friends with them. Like, what? Okay, maybe, you know, alliance, but not like a friendly friends. Alliance, right? Yeah. Yeah, it's part of the narrative, which is horrible now. Yeah, we need to prepare the storyline, what happens until Freedom of Titan. Thing is that if the theory is correct that Eren and so on are gonna, you know, be here now and, you know, ambush them, so to speak, then everything here is pointless, right? Just listening to them talking about how to attack something that never will happen. I'm saying. But anyway, first of all, we need to once again emphasize to the world how Paris Island. But every story needs someone to tell it. It seems that the Taybar family is going to take on the role. Okay. The Taybar family. Yeah, like what? Are they human? Are they aliens then? But like, yeah, like the Taybar family is to take a role. But if they're gonna if someone listen to the Taybar family, they have to be humans, right? So how would they control the Hammer Titan? I guess they have some alien under them? I don't know. The same family that currently has the Warhammer Titan. That's not the, I guess. Okay, so they are a first noble family to in a great war, yeah, I guess King Fritz before the whole alien thing started. Okay, so they are honorary Marlians. So, okay, so the Taybar family are aliens that aren't actually like one of the few aliens that don't have to live in a ghetto, I suppose. Okay, yeah, sounds like a rebellion. Yeah, that's a good point there. And while the other aliens spend their life in the ghetto, they live a luxury life. Yeah, it's like, yes, it sounds like they have it really good, and everyone else is really, really bad with your people. Yeah, it sounds a bit good. I agree completely with him. I worry. I think Reiner is pretending to care about it, yeah. Hopes at least. Is the town called Rebellio? Is the town called Rebellio? Is you fucking kidding me? Like, the town is called Rebellio. Okay, so we have this like retarded thing, we have all the Titans. There's also an issue here, right? That all of the Titan powers, except the Hammer Titan Warhammer thing, is living in this place, right? The Warhammer is living somewhere else. They are here, then of course they have Aaron and so, but like these guys are here, they're all combined. It's like a horrible, easy way to do rebellion. It's really, really stupid how no one's even looking at them right now. So they can do these things. It's like, God, horrible is to rebel. It's like, and the city is called Rebellio. The city is called Rebellio. Jesus Christ. Okay, we will invite people of town, yeah, forces or nations, and the Taybar family make a declaration, yeah, that they will take over parallel within 1 year. He failed that completely last time, though. Are they gonna go with the whole army? Actually, this kind of weird. They don't go with the whole army, right? They know that whatever Aaron and so on are controlling the Fritz and the rest and so on. They know that for so what it is. Like, they still don't come with the army, with the Zeppeliners and whatever and so on. Like, no, they still just send like 3 Titans over there. Anyway, and the face about Marley and Ellie's plans and says the plan. Okay, yeah, of course they are being bugged, yeah. Some half-ass modern thing too. We will allow them not being happy about it because the topic, okay, so Reiner is like, yeah, I'm gonna say that it's awesome. They're probably all listening into this. Okay, that made it a lot better though. They're listening into Zeke's thing here. But still, town is called Rebellio. Come on. Come on. It's like, it's a sign of a rebellion or not. It's gonna be a rebellion at any moment now. Oh yeah, and then like gramophone player behind him. It's like, yeah, in this room, huh? Yeah, I have to return to the island again. I'd ever see Anne and him. Yeah, the female Titan. Which is a horrible name too. The female Titan. What's the power up? Because they have the four-legged. And she's also a female, right? So what is the power to be a female Titan? She's a woman that's Titan, right? This is like, what is her actual power? Shouldn't it be like, you know, the whatever Titan with this power? Yeah, but no, it's yeah, so we also give them the hard ability because they have different abilities, right? They have different, yeah, different serums. She can also call for pure Titans, not only for short range. Yeah. So they developed her, but still, why would they call this a female Titan? I feel like that's like a really bad name. That, you know, that. I mean, the problem is that's a name that feels like the aliens on Paradise call it the female Titan. But why would they call it that? That's, I think it's actually horrible, right? To be honest. I mean, it's one thing that we as the reader has called it Female Titan for many years because we have seen it from, you know, the protagonist, from the guys being chased by Titan, right? We see it from their perspective, and then she's just the Titan with boobs. But why would the guys creating her just call her, yeah, Female Titan? Yeah, like that. You're clearly also kind of scientist, has to kind of, you know, oh, we do this here and this thing. So obviously I would call something like, yeah, the hardening or something like that. I would name her based on her abilities or something, I don't know, but like, it makes no sense. But they have more than one female too, so it makes little to no sense at all. Yeah, and his of course is Reiner, he's the armored Titan, he has super hardening. Yeah, and you can test him with. Yeah, then we have the Yaw Titan. Yeah, he's fast, he can bite stuff. So that's Marcel. Yeah, and he can break stuff with his yaw. Quick-witted Marcel. Pitching. It's like, yeah, the Beast Titan, he can pitch stuff. And also, I would say that the Yaw Titan is very, very similar to Ymir, the definite dead drawing there. Like a small drawing. Yeah, and that's her, I think, Cartman. Yeah, with 4 legs. Yeah, but it's like, they're like, yeah, this woman is that thing. Well, actually, it's true though. She looks like a man, I suppose, even in her Cartman Titan form, I suppose. So, And looks like a female, so it's female Titan. Yeah, the Colossal Titan. It's like a nuke, yeah, it's hard to test it because everyone just dies around. The god of destruction, he tests that thing and he just blasts away all the houses. It's like dropping the nuke in this. It's like, yeah, we have to go away now. Don't test that thing before people are. I mean, yeah, that also makes really little to no sense. Sending 4 children alone on a mission, it's really stupid in the sense that why wouldn't you send like this guy? He's like, you know, I'm the general guy, I have this control of this army. Like, why wouldn't you send like a few, you know, special operative people, right, from the army controlling them, right? They have the infiltrate and so on, but should someone of them be on the outside, like, because Zeke said outside, should someone be with him and like do the planning or something? He's right here. It's lunacy to use Sam for children. And why couldn't they just betray him and say, okay, we go on the other side? Oh yeah, why would they could just like change sides so easily. So it's like, yeah. So the Beast Titan and yeah, the Copper did agree. As we know, this is actually really. I mean, everything so far we know, right? They're just going over stuff that this is a flashback stuff that we have easily can, you know, assume from what we already know. So I don't know about this, but yeah. Yeah, so they're sending in Marcel, Bertolt, Annie, and Reiner, and then they have yeah, Zeke and Peak on the outside, and then they have this other guy, he's on the outside for whatever reason, yeah. Well, yeah, actually he didn't get the power, that's true, he's New York, Gilly or yeah. Poco. Then they get some parade. Okay, this was nice. This is the parade. And they're like, yeah, whatever. And his mother is happy, of course. Okay, so can we finally see Reiner's father there, maybe? Maybe. Maybe he has a fear then. That's quite boring if that is the case. Then I was wrong last week, that maybe, I mean it's confirmed yet, but I hope it's. He does say she wants some revenge. To me it sounds like he probably abused her while he was. I mean, she worked under him in some kitchen, right? And he might abuse her. I mean, yeah, it's kind of like, I don't know. She might say it's a love anyway. I don't know really. But now he's like, I ran away. Weird. This whole scene is really weird because you see that guy, that makes sense. But I don't know how he managed to follow him from a cart. And suddenly they're in a kitchen and he's like. Okay, it's on barracks. Well, obviously he doesn't love. I mean, I think it's pretty clear he doesn't love his mother though. Like that's probably very clear. So he did probably abuse her. Right? Yeah, but like, I think so. I think I was still right, because maybe it wasn't like it's like enormous, horrible, you know, rapes and all sex slave kind of thing, whatever. But will probably manage it more. But like, still, you know, it's very like super racism and so on, right? But it's like he obviously doesn't love them. Obviously doesn't. So he probably abused her, you know, when she was working at the barracks, right? He probably abused her and so on, right? He might care for his son anyway, though, but it's like his mother probably doesn't care about, like giving these things. So yeah, so it's kind of like it is really weird actually, because he gets to talk to this guy that might be his father, probably is, and then the next panel he's suddenly with his mom again. And it's almost like his mom would be at the barrack, but I guess they are just jumping to the boat. It is this is really irritating. Like I wish that he would spend more time on this, right? This is actually much more interesting. How this Reiner and mom is, and like was it voluntarily, so to speak? Did he actually want to sex with him? How this kid goes back and so on. But instead we get this like a lot of pages on this, like whatever they were training, who cares really? I don't care about training at all. I honestly don't care at all for this training part. So instead we get a lot of that stuff, and I just like, okay. I'm sure your father. I don't know. I wish I spent a lot more time on this instead. Much more interesting how his father and this relationship between the Marley and Ellie. Much more interesting. They're seeing them, do this exercise, right? Oh, this thing, she's hardening. Yeah, we know that he can become hard, she can become harder. That is something we've known for years, so that didn't add anything, right? Didn't add nothing to the story. Quite pointless, sort of thing. Everyone is happy, I say what's on the devils. Yeah, I don't need a warrior, I need a father, I'm a warrior. I will say everyone, I'll be here to say the word, so they get to across the wall where they send people away. Yeah, this is increasingly insane. That like they get there with this huge, like some kind of boat, ship, right? They have horses, they have people there, and then it'd be like, shouldn't at least some of their army, maybe not like the highest general gonna be with them, but like so someone follow them, some random Marley soldiers to make sure that they actually get there and so on, so they can do the mission. Would that make some sense? Okay, so the Marley army anchors here every month on the day of the full moon. Make sure to proceed with the plan and retake. Yes, sir. So they will return there once a month. That's crazy. We big up bases there, but anyway, yeah. Yeah, and have the horse eat there. Plus like a packing horse, so a mule. Might jump into the Ymir, killing them here then. Or not hit them, but one of them. And all of them, but Marshall. How do they know that? If you destroy the wall, the king won't use the power. Why wouldn't they? I know he doesn't, and we know people are dying, right? The king doesn't use the powers. But it's kind of weird how they know that the king is like, he refuses to use the powers. Even when people are being attacked, right? Like the king is obviously kind of weird, yeah. But second, did he return? I don't know. Like, was the world living hell during the Empire? Maybe I was happy. I don't know. Did everyone did? I don't know. Oh, so Marcel is like, I don't know, this is interesting, yeah. Marcel was like, the truth is you were supposed to be a chosen warrior, yeah. I kept praising you, but saying my brother was a loser. Yeah, I betrayed my own brother on purpose to the army so they wouldn't pick him. Ah, nice. So he didn't have to die. And then of course Ymir suddenly wakes up and kills him, yeah, so we get the part of what can obviously happen. Wow. That's a really bad chapter. Honestly. I can't see the defense chapter. It was bad. It moved so little with the main story. So yeah, let's start with the review of Attack on Titan chapter 95. It's like whatever, yeah, like obviously going through page, and so it's kind of anyway. But the big problem here is that it moves the main story so very little, right? It moves the main story incredibly little because what happens is that I don't know, about half or so of the chapter is a flashback, roughly. I say about half of it, and that flashback, the Reiner and his father, probably his father, that was good, and I wanted more of that absolutely. So it wasn't like all bad, but that was good, and that was like what 3 pages, and there were like somewhat 17, 20 pages over flashback things. They added nothing, right? They really added nothing to the story because what we saw there. Okay, the last part that wasn't interesting. I have to say too. He was like, I liked about my brother through the armor to figure. Okay, that's fine. That also was a pretty good part. But except those 2 things, what did it add? Like seeing them train and they're like, oh, it tested us he gets this flashback. Oh, I remember when we were training, and we see them like, yeah, this woman, female type, she can like harden and she's pretty quick. Oh, this guy, she can like become 4 legs and she's pretty intelligent. Oh, this guy is pretty quick. Like, he's going through the powers. We are very, very well known how the powers work. Right? We're very well aware what he can do. We've seen it. Okay, it's like the beast that he can throw stuff. He has pitching skills and he's big. It's like, yeah, we know that. We have spent like, I don't know how many chapters and the anime, right? Current season, or I mean, season and seeing him pitching people, like the baseball I can do here, yeah, the pitch. It's really hard doing it here, yeah. Because so, the baseball pitch, right? Yeah, it's really hard to sit down actually. I never think of that before. Because you have to go back, and it's kind of hard to because the wall is behind me. So I can't really like, I can't really do it, yeah. But anyway, we've seen that, right? Very, very a lot. So spending like somewhat half the chapter on just like, oh yeah, the training and the parade is really nice there, but it's 1 page though, and it's more about Reiner. You know, yeah, because Satan is big. I liked it because he's a nuke. That's really cool though. Like he's kind of a nukish character. That's really cool. But it still is like, spend that time there. Yeah, it's pretty much half the chapter is that. It really moves the story, like almost like not one meter. The Gabby thing is more interesting in being there actually. She's kind of like real, maybe she's realizing that. And then they have the seating. Yeah, the seating is weak too. Not only is it weak. I mean, okay, he is being listening to what he's saying, so you can't say bad stuff about him. And that is fine though. But the problem there, the whole thing, is that he's just like going over this plan, right? Oh, we need to get the Beast Titan because of this reason, because of the army and so on. It's like, yeah. Didn't we hear this exact same lines? It feels like I could reread chapter, I think it's 92, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but yeah. I think it's 92, maybe chapter 91, but I think it's 92. Didn't we have exactly this, like almost line by Zeke and all the army guys as chapter 92? We're talking about why they need the original power. They were like, Zeke, you're an idiot, we tried that, we failed, and it's even less work now because obviously the other guys can like fly and so on, so why are you gonna develop like a flight type or something? Right? They really had it right. So he's just like paraphrasing the exact same pages that they spent a lot of time doing the last time they did the thing. So this is adding absolutely nothing, I would say. Those pages. Absolutely nothing. Except you're seeing that, okay, they are being listened into, which Reiner seems to be extremely well aware of. And I assume everyone else except Garrett's an idiot. So he's like, oh, he's all the guys like, oh, whatever, because he's a grumpy guy. But everyone seems to be well aware of the being listened into. So they all like, yeah, great plan, man. Like, you're all doing that thing, right? And it's like, so what's the point? And okay, one thing I have to admit though, which is horrible. That's probably the only good thing here with this whole like just repeating the story. And that is this family, right? That has the Warhammer Titan power. I was calling it Taybar. I was calling it Taybar. Yeah, the Taybar family. That is the only thing that's actually interesting here. The Taybar family. They haven't spoken about it. They have one of the powers, and they have kept the power for 100 years. About 100 years, right? Since the wall thing started. Yeah, so they have that thing going for them, right? So it's also one thing that you take me thinking about it, because I mean, the rebellion against the aliens were only the Empire. And Fritz and the rights and so on, right? That only was about 100 years ago, a little more, right? So, yeah, like there haven't been many generations of them to indoctrinate the aliens this much, right? So, I mean, it's like, is it the mind power? I'm just waiting for this, like, ridiculous Deus Machina explanation of everything. It's like, no, the Fritz family changed everyone's mind. There are no aliens, there are no Marleys, nothing like this. They were never existed before, or we had World War IV or something, then it happened. Like, it had something else to happen to explain this thing, because it's like, yeah, that also makes less sense, right? That has been such a short time frame since they lost, and still everyone is like, whoa, I must end Marley slave. So that's very weird. Let's look at this chapter. We only have 2 guards at the gate, and the city is called Rebellio. The city is called Rebellio. This damn city they live in is even named after something I would assume is going to happen at any second, at all the time, right? It's just crazy. But the thing is that people always say to me, oh, you're wrong because they had this rebellion and it failed with the owl. But the thing is that if you look at it, the less years there has been past, right, since your occupation force or some kind of like, you know, war or whatever, the stronger the resentment, occupation, the non-integration, the non-annexation, so on, right? All of that has a less time, right? So if it's like, you know, if a country, say the US, goes to consider Mexico today, right? There will be a lot of rebellion, a lot of resentment, a lot of people fighting that, a lot of guerrillas, you know, blah blah blah, right? But if they manage to keep the control of Mexico, the whole land, whatever, right? And they just keep doing that, and they say 500 years pass, right? That those parts are going to be incorporated. People are going to be born, you know, 450 years after, for example, then it was 500 years totally. They be living in Mexico for 50 years, and then Mexico used to be a part of the US. They're like, okay, I understand that my, you know, grand ancestors, they lost this land to the US, but today I am born here, I am a part of this, you know, I'm a citizen because, you know, this land is completely incorporated and so on, right? Sure, some people hate me because I'm Mexican. I don't know, but I tell most of the Mexican people. But the general is kind of like, yeah, okay, it works out fine, right? And you will have less resentment, you will have less concern of doing a rebellion and so on, right? So that is very, very obviously standard, right? The less time there has been since you occupied a new country, right, or whatever, right, the higher chances of rebellion, like much higher, right? And that goes down, you know, strict, you know, linearly by time, right? Obviously it does. Of course, something can happen. If you could have, for example, a neighboring country that have some people of your, you know, culture group or whatever, ethnic group, whatever it is, and they can also attack you or attack that country or, you know, fight back and yada yada, right, and so on. A lot of different factors. That the country that occupied your country 200 years ago, 500 years, whatever, they are now occupied by another country. They're in war with Canada, right? The US. They're in war with Canada, and they lost this war here, and that's why they have less control. Like, so they're losing control of like their just general localization. That the local governments are starting to have, you know, like self-control because the main government is falling apart or this other war. And that means that maybe the local government controlling this state say, okay, let's leave this state, let's make our own country. So let's remake Mexico because we have already this, we want to have this state and so on. That happens, you know, you read history, right? It happens all the time in history, right? Different kinds are built, different are exploded, different are created new, right? So, just very, very strange in this, because this again, and this is something to go back and forth this manga, but I think even more here now, they really like, okay, it's only 100 years ago about when there's Taybar family betrayed them, right? And how they started the LD and so on. So maybe actually Taybar family actually not super easy to think about it. But I mean, yeah, so it's kind of like, that means the rebellion should be even more, because it's very little time since they actually become incorporated, right? Or be occupied by the Marlins. It's a very short time. But during the history though, you have to wonder if the Taybar are in actual control then maybe of the Marlins one. Maybe not. I don't know, I'm just saying, because what we know, Marley were fighting aliens with the rest of the, you know, different countries pretty much, I suppose, but mainly the Marleys. And then Taybar, the chapter 1, seems to have betrayed the aliens, but wouldn't the aliens still have like 8 of 9 of their powers? Just like their leader betrayed them. Wouldn't they have a lot of more powers at once? That shouldn't be nearly enough, you know, to betray them, right? The first noble family to oppose King Fritz in the Great Titan War. It's like, how did they win, right? Like, so one noble family was the one noble family each something? But how did they control all the family? I don't know. It's just like, each chapter should have spent 20 pages flashbacking the Great Titan War instead, the spin-off series. That happened 100 years ago. But see what I mean? Just 100 years ago. So you're telling me the different noble families would be happy about this, people happy about this, that the rebellion in this rebellion should be happening all the freaking time, right? Because it's such a high, short time amount since you got enslaved by these people. You know, you have your, maybe you just want to say, okay, I just want to go and live to Alien, can I just like immigrate over to my older family, pretty much, right? It's just very, very weird. It feels like this manga has to do some kind of Deus Machina, right? It feels like anything I'm reading right now, to me, has sort of tension, because I think that I'm just expecting the author at any moment to say, actually, the Taybar also has the memory time power, and they changed everyone's memories and time frame and so on. This is actually this year or something. Like, I mean, expecting something weird to happen to explain how the aliens lost this like 8 out of 9 powers versus them, and like how they lost Titan or how they got into the island. Why did they bring all the aliens with them? That is strange. Except maybe I guess they betrayed them, like these Taybars. I guess they didn't want to join. But who are these other aliens? Are these people just captured in the war and then they were like enslaved in some camps to get something, and then their kids are now slaves? Or how did that even happen? Like that, I think, is what I want to know. I think the most people want to know, right? Because now we have this really weird like World War 1/2 setting, and it's like no explanation how we got here from like a historical perspective, right? We used to assume this was right, and it feels like there's no way that this actually works out logically, right? Like it's just like they lost this war, and then this happened. There's like no way it's gonna be like that. There's absolutely no way. So I think that's an issue too with this manga. A lot. This whole side now with falling Reiner and so on. There is that you don't trust it, right? The title is placing that it's magic. The people is born, but they're always born here for the reason. No one's ever died and born at paradise. Like there's so many illogical paths, right? How this have happenings. So you either have to assume that it's like riddled with plot holes like everywhere, and that is just bad. Or you have to assume that something is gonna happen. It's like, well, actually, the real truth is this of memory powers. This happened 10 years ago. Like, you're just assuming that it's gonna be something grand, right? And that's gonna explain everything in a new light. And that's gonna like overshadow or like just like, rewrite or retcon everything that happened the last 10 chapters. That is what I expected, to be honest, right? And the more I read this, the more I feel like, okay, maybe the Taybar has some time power. Maybe the Warhammer is actually something completely different. Or, I'm expecting something to like really, really like a twist to happen, right? So to speak, M. Night Shyamalan level twist to happen at any given moment, right? I think that's also why this chat is hard to read and actually care about it, because it feels like there's no way this is actually going to be the true story of this manga. There's no way it's going to end saying everything everyone said now is true. Like, there is no way it's going to be that. I just cannot see it happening at all. Maybe that's actually me having trust not saying that these plot holes now are going to be fixed. However, though, there's a huge field, inside the field of media, they're going to fix it by having some kind of weird, magical demon power. So, it's been frustrating. That being said, though, yeah, this Taybar information is interesting. The rain report is interesting. Definitely, I wish I had a lot more of that. The last part with Marcel, not very interesting. I guess that way he might also, of course, saved Reiner from Ymir, because he was like, he felt guilty at that scene. That explains him jumping in the way in that kind of light. But also, in one way, demeans his character. Before he was a heroic character. And now it's more like a person that was just guilty, that's why he died for him. Makes him his character. I don't know, does that mean more depth? Or does that mean his character is more flawed? I don't know. It's just like, I don't know. I don't think it actually mattered that much to me, to be honest. It's an interesting point, though. More that he was like, I didn't want my brother to die. Then his brother got his power anyway, so yeah, afterwards. So that was like, that didn't really help his brother at all, actually. But yeah, like, that is so interesting. He realized, I don't want my brother to have the powers, because he will just die in, like, what's it, 12, 13 years? So that is good. In that sense. But it doesn't really matter so much, I feel, honestly. And the other parts are just, nonsense, right? Complete nonsense. All this, like, let's walk over here, and some random soldiers doing some jokes, like, something funny. So interesting. This whole speak is the same thing again. I feel that I could have read maybe 5 or 6 pages, right? And I would have the exact same information I had when I started reading the chapter. That's an absolutely huge mistake here. And I always say that I feel that it's really bad on details. It's really, really bad on details, explaining exactly how stuff happens, all right. And here, and also then, in this chapter, he explains the wrong things. He's like, I'm gonna explain now how to exercise or something. It's like, I don't care about that. Like, no one in the right mind wanna see this, like, oh yeah, this is how I learned this. But like, you don't even see that, right? You don't even see that. It's not even that. It's even bad writing, I would say, even during that part, because the only thing we see is that the army is like, yeah, female titan. It's like, great name, by the way. It's like, what the fuck? And he's talking about the powers. You don't even see Anne or Bant or whatever, like learning how to use their powers, or like how Marcel, he's quick-witted and he got this like fighting power. They don't even see them explaining, or I'm like, I would rather have those patients spending time with them, like, exercising. It's like, oh, how can I control my hardening, right? Because, everyone has to learn, right? So that could give us some insight in, okay, they're actually kind of like crafting these titans. So I would much rather see it on the science part of it, much more. And then the second part, I would much more rather see it, or if I can see that, I would much see it on the person getting the powers. And they're like, okay, so they're giving you armor power plus this like jumping power, so you should be able to do these 5 abilities. Like, we're giving you these 2 powers now, and then we also have a dip of this power, so you should have like 8 abilities. Try this out. Like, try to learn. That would be more interesting, or something like that, right? Okay, what can you do now? Because you have this bloodline limit, so combining with these powers, you should be able to control this thing or something. Like, that would be much more interesting. But that is like, he's big. She's like a mule or something. Right? And, well, we have the army guy saying, oh, it's lunacy and so on, which is completely right. But no one, and that is actually, it's a lot, no one is saying that he is really wrong, but no one is also arguing and saying that, no, you're wrong. These kids can do it because of duff reasons, and we can't send any normal soldier with them because we can sacrifice Marley life or something. Like, no one motivates to him why this plan is good, right? They're just like, no, it's not. Right? No one actually motivates for him why this plan is wrong. No one does that, and it's just keep going, and they show the exact same. Or I mean, I want to think that it has no meaning. Seeing them like, oh yeah, we get these horses and so on, like, it has no meaning. It's really pointless. Really seen that several times now, like in the anime even, right? You see that the only point here is to show that, Marcel is like, I let you become Titan power because I didn't want to kill my brother. I didn't want my brother to be killed so early in his age. That's the only reason, right? They could have jumped to that scene pretty much quicker. Right? That's what the point is, that those like expedition scenes all in between pages are so pointless. They're spending like how long is chapter? 40 pages maybe, 45, and I honestly feel like I could read this in 5 pages and it would have the exact same information, like the Taybar family, Reiner's father, because that was only like 3 pages, and then the last part. Everything in between here is meaningless, completely to me. Honestly, I must have negative, but I mean it. I really like. I must have super negative, but I feel it is a. I mean, the thing is that it's kind of like comparing to any other, TV show or manga, anime, whatever, right? The problem is that if you do this, and you spend a lot of expedition time showing this, like, oh, I want to draw this, like, I want to show the training camp, I want to spend this thing to people. Okay, fine, that's not bad. But if you do that for like 5-6 chapters straight, the story progression is extremely slow, right? Like, how much has the story actually progressed now since we had this really weird time skip? Almost nothing, right? Almost completely nothing. It has progressed for half a year now with this manga. It has progressed like 1 day, right? And it's incredibly low progression, if you ask me. And again, we are not even looking at the main character. We still haven't even seen Eren, Armin, Mikasa, so on, right? Levi, so on, like, yeah, they are Sasha, they like so on, Connie, whatever. Yi, my favorite character. We haven't even seen those characters for like more than half a year, right? And the payoff has to be gigantic here. The payoff has to be ridiculously gigantic, and I think that the more every month you spend not getting to the payoff has to be bigger, right? Yeah, the more time you spend, the expectation, the expected result is higher, right? So it's like, it definitely goes like this, right? And it's always good like this almost, because it's like the more time, the threshold, probably more like that. Then it's like more like it goes up all the time, but something that jumps. So it's like 3 months, 6 months, 8 months, and or that is like a threshold of irritation, right? Nothing's happening. I mean, the pacing is extremely slow here, extremely slow. That's why I really want to say it's bad, because it's like, what happened in the chapters? What happened? And again, I think that everyone is like, where has Eren? Is Eren that guy? It's gonna happen? The one thing I can say, obviously, is that this is leading extremely obviously leading to Reiner betraying them, right? That is the obvious thing. Reiner is gonna betray them. Reiner is gonna join the LDS. I think that is the most obvious thing. It's pushing for that. But the thing is that last chapter, which I think was like, okay, like it wasn't the best chapter, but they had some good Paul Reiner there. I think it has some really good Paul Reiner, and at the beginning chapter, kind of led on to that. So in the first, I was like, yeah, okay, maybe we can see Reiner talking to Gabby and, you know, getting him to like, Gabby, don't become a Titan warrior. It's horrible. The aliens aren't bad people. Like that could be. He's like, nope, it didn't happen. So we get this really weird flashback that, you know, for the most part, except the father part, didn't do much. Then the father part, that is just, no, it's absolutely interesting. The father part I did like. Absolutely, don't get me wrong, that was the best part of the chapter. But the thing is that it spent so, it's like 2 pages on it, yeah. And it still made me like, I think he abused his mother. Probably. It doesn't feel like it's like mutual love, right? But it does feel like he still cared about his son somewhat. It's like, you know, even if you have some kind of fling with someone, you don't want to marry her, and especially if she's some kind of, you know, lesser being, and it's like, whatever. But you see, like, she has a son with you, so he's like, yeah, my son, you know, that's, you see when I see him, you know, whatever, succeed probably. So it's like, you know, so interesting part there. So that should be way more interesting. That could have been so much more interesting. But it spent like 2 pages on it. So if anything, it disappointed me that it ended so quickly, right? I would much rather see the last 10 pages is covering that a lot more. And then of course in the end they myself also like, no, you don't deserve to be a warrior, so on. So yeah, like that, everything is building up, Reiner betraying them, obviously. But Reiner's gonna betray them, that is so clear. But it's like, so it feels like it spent the last, it is 2 chapters now, so 2 months, just building up the Reiner betrayal. And this chapter, again, like the parts that I liked, the father, the end of it was okay, not the best, but okay, and the Taybar family thing. Taybar, very interesting in the whole general thing, could be some kind of plot thing there, definitely a plot, you know, big plot thing, definitely. But the Reiner parts, 2 Reiner parts, they are good, right? The problem is, you spent 45 pages telling me something that you could spend in like 3 pages, right? If you ignore the Taybar part. Like, that's the problem, right? Because the only thing is they have 1 line from myself pretty much, and you have this forward, right, the 2 pages. So it's like, come on. You could have done this so much more. You could have given me like a 45-page flashback of Reiner, and really motivated me to see his side of it, his new ideas, why he betrayed them, but you don't. You just like do this really, you just repeat older stuff. So I'm just losing interest incredibly on this manga. The pacing is incredibly slow, right? It moves nothing. It is moving, you know, I don't know, snails. I was trying to get a really good metaphor for you, but it's just moving incredibly slow, and it's not very interesting because, and also it's not interesting because you can have like Dragon Ball and they can do these like fights for like freaking like 3 books in a row, right? Like it's the same battle now, but that's action packed at least. So you like, if I watch that, that'd be pretty cool, hopefully. But when I read this, like this is just a repeat of, this is just repeating what I read 3 chapters back, like literally. If you know the time part, this is nothing new, right? It's repeating the same thing. And then it's like, yeah, here are training, but they are, it's a training, just showing the powers, which we are definitely already know. Oh, he can pitch stuff. Yay, you know, it's like those pages, they were horrible. They added nothing at all. So yeah, I am actually disappointed, and it's hard because I didn't even have good expectations when I went into this, and I was like, Jesus Christ, when is man gonna end? You know, almost. Anyway, I guess see you guys next month, I suppose, right? Roughly a month, usually between chapters. And yeah, have a great